Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on? What up, what up, what up, all you happy hashers out there? As I'm waiting for you guys to slide on, and don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. And out of all the hash rate that I can grow, the one thing I can't grow is this channel without your help. So check out the subscribe, all the good stuff. And let's dig in. Yo. So, all that crazy news that we've been getting with the political landscape, and it has, since it's basically signaling that Trump's our new president, most markets have recovered to a certain extent of a lot of the things that they were losing. Especially like in traditional stock market, stuff like that. A lot of things had been, kind of either trading out sideways for the last few months because it was just uncertain of what the market was doing. It had that FUD going, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And FUD in any market will cause either a quick panic flash sale, going into like a holding pattern where it just nobody's really trading, but nobody's really buying because they're not sure where the market's going to be. And that's not so much the investing market that they're really looking at. They're looking at, okay, the dollars in my pocket, how good are they going to be in the next month, 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year, right? So those are the things that people are going to be looking at. And when the dollars are cheap, people tend to sell off their assets into cheap dollars. Got to remember, we're playing arbitrage, right? So you're taking in the conglomerate a little bit of everything of your profitability. So when the dollars are super cheap, you go ahead and you go right into those dollars. And then when those dollars buy you more assets, that's when you jump back into your asset class. I mean, this isn't, financial advice or anything like that. It's just, this is what the big traders are actually doing. What up, son of a rabbit, with those 22s going on, my dude. But as we come into these, these emerging markets like that, where you're watching the funds kind of ebb and flow in and out of the market, or just kind of holding patterns. You guys got to remember, this is traditional market. What does it do in the crypto market? Well, it's amplified actually, where there might be a holding pattern in the traditional stock market. There's a panic sell-off, and going into some of these, can I put it, better rated asset classes like your Bitcoin and stuff like that. And you're going to see those go into a holding pattern with the traditional markets. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, that was all with the political landscape. That, we're coming into an election cycle here in the United States. For any of you people that are outside the United States, just because you don't live in the United States doesn't mean that what happens here politically doesn't bleed over into your investments. This also goes into your traditional finance versus even your crypto markets. So now that people have been seeing a better landscape for the near future, you're having people actually going back into and investing. Now, you're going to see a few other paradigm shifts that have happened kind of at the same time. It's kind of a unique one. What up, Gene? What up, Jason the Tiger Osborne? You right, dude. You right. Crypto and Hot Rods is rated at 4. Freaking awesome. Yo. But it's like we're coming into a market where basically this woke culture is kind of being attacked in a positive way, where it's being beaten back into the darkness in which came out from. And some of these traditional markets are actually starting to suffer from a lot of these woke ideologies. Some of the other stuff is that economies are trash. So, especially like your Dow Jones Industrial Average. These are your industries. Manufacturing, guys. Heavy manufacturing. If the economy sucks, you're going to see it in the Dow Jones immediately. So now you're watching them take almost a 1 point bet on this one. So they lost a point for something that trades at $40,000. 1 point here and there isn't a whole lot. And it's not that people lost confidence in Dow Jones and the industrial average. It's all the industries have, in their own little ways, taken hits here and there. S&P 500, those are your top performing Fortune 500 companies. They're taking a hit. My suspicion is it's that some of the companies that are in there have been hit by the woke ideologies and have taken negative publicity for it. And they are now dropping. Some of this stuff is also being tied into Microsoft. Yeah, buddy. I mean, how much do you think Microsoft just went down because of its security side of things? Because of a third-party security patch update? I'm just saying. That was just insanity, the other day, where Microsoft goes down and payments shut down, airplanes shut down. Just a lot of stuff that was baked in. That was, trains had issues, things you wouldn't even think that would have been tied into it, like a train map. What does a train map have anything to do with Microsoft? Why is that not being something done locally right there at the train station? That blows my mind. That was just like, wow, I would have never thought that they would have handed off that much. And it shows you how often does Amazon Web Service get DDoSed? How many times do they get pinpoint tested? And whenever their services fail, look how little is really affected because of how they've got everything split up, right? All it took was a security patch that was not properly vetted for whatever reason, and it shuts down everything. I mean, I had a program that I didn't even realize was on Microsoft, but it did not work all day. I could get onto their main website because that was Google. But when you went into there to access the software for Identifix, which is a automotive diagnostic software that I can utilize, helps me out with applications and stuff, how to pull stuff apart, trouble trees, all that good stuff, right? And everything went down. And I'm sitting here and looking at things, and it kind of ties in to what the next, to some of the stuff. Like, you were able to see this in hash rate, guys. Like, there are coins that took major hits in hash rate because of Microsoft's service going down worldwide. It just me, or is Nemesis audio slightly distorted at times a bit? Shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Hopefully, it's not. I'm like laying out too much knowledge here. But let me double check my OBS updated, so I'm not sure. I mean, everything is registering, and it should be in the Yeti. Yeti Blue. What is it pointed at? It's pointed at my NVIDIA broadcast, and NVIDIA broadcast is on, so it should be good. Let me know if it's like it. I pressed down on the cable going into it, but I mean. So yeah, and it can't be me on my end. Everything looks Gucci from over here. So anyway, it's like, so we're going to be seeing a lot of the companies, anything that had gotten also tied into Microsoft that took a hit is also going to take a hit here too, guys. So if you're into any of these industries, S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, don't worry about it. It'll recover in no time. If you're already invested in here, this is like one of those times where it's like, oh, there's blood in the streets. Let me buy a little more, because nothing fundamentally changed in any of the industries. It was, I think some of this stuff was tied into Microsoft here. So, I mean, but that's just my opinion on it. I could be wrong. If my hunches are like pretty all right. NVIDIA has actually their stock's been pulling back a lot. Apple kind of trading out sideways. I don't think there's really much more room in their market right now unless they come out with some like latest and greatest crazy to hit the market. I think we're going to see them just kind of be, a more of a mature market. Gets boring. You see less fluctuation. It's just slow, steady growth. Totally fine, right? Amazon still pulling back. As life returns back to normal, people are going to start shopping at their local stores again, and Amazon is going to lose some of that footing. Some of these companies are also seeing that advertisements through them are a little down through Amazon. So, I mean, they do have people that advertise with them. So, I mean, budgets are probably down. And I wonder how much, again, the Microsoft actually affected them. If so, that could also be some of what's causing a little bit of a pullback. Alphabet doing Alphabet things. The whole Google franchise, they're very much tied into other companies spending money with them. So if other companies stop using Google or Alphabet in general for their advertisement, Alphabet dies because they are dependent on revenue through advertisement. Meta platforms been kind of spiking up. There's been a little bit of buzz around that, that this is your Ready Player One arena here, or some garbage like that. Tesla not going to be doing so. No, not doing hot here. I think the whole EV market craze is going to be kind of dying off. Especially, I think this is a direct signal. Some of this might be signaling from the market believing at this point that Donald Trump is now the new president or the next president, and knowing that Trump is pro energy independence, and the only way that you can have energy independence is by having your own energy production. Whether you're doing uh, drilling for oil, digging for coal, or you're sitting there and doing hydroelectric or building nuclear facilities for energy production. Which that last, the nuclear side of things, unfortunately, there are brain eco nuts that do not understand what they're talking about, because it's like whenever you see all those environmental pictures where they show those smokestacks with a big plume of smoke. Well, technically, it's not smoke. That's steam. Those are nuclear reactors, and nuclear reactors are superheating water, turning it into water vapor, so steam, to turn a turbine faster than a hydro dam could do it, with expanding water, expanding vapors. And then they took a snapshot of it. So basically, they took a snapshot of the cleanest thing in the entire industry, which is water, and used that as the poster child of why we need green energy. Yeah. It is absolutely hilarious. The hubris that these eco nuts have. But I digress. They don't understand how to make energy, effective energy. So they want to put windmills and solar panels up that destroys nature and takes up valuable farmland, which farmland is more nature, which nature cleans up the air, so they're actually anti-environment, pro-destruction of the environment, because they're dumb as hell. I'm just saying, these eco nuts are dumb as hell. But again, I digress. I can get up on a soapbox about that one, like from here and back again. Oh my god. Oh. But let's get back on topic here. But yeah, Tesla's pulling back. They're having a nasty pullback, 4%. If you guys are believers in the Tesla stuff, I don't think they've quite found their bottom. I wouldn't be getting into this until the market signaled that Tesla actually has found a bottom of everything. S&P 500 again, pulling back. Vanguard pulling back. I mean, if you guys are into any of the ETF stuff, QQQ pulling back. Gold Trust pulling back. That one was actually a little surprising to see that the Gold Trust, Gold Trust actually pulled back. The Bitcoin Trust, of course, doing amazing. It's doing Bitcoin things because, the honey badger don't give a fuck. I'm just saying, right? So Bitcoin Trust up 6%. That is huge. Van Eck Semiconductor. So these are, yes, this is your ETF for the semiconductor industry. And if industries are having a chokehold, you're going to see the semiconductor immediately take a pullback. Like, hey, E-Body, Tesla look for a bottom. What? What up, Nick? Like, Bitcoin is the true world currency. I don't think that it'll ever be utilized as that amongst governments. I don't know if it'll ever really get recognized as a world currency, although everybody here, we are going to root for it. Absolutely. Right, wrong, or indifferent, we will root for it. Talking about that Bitcoin, it's like, did I actually pull up the market? Yes, I did. So, We got the whole Bitcoin market. It's trying to tickle that 67. I mean, after the whole the attempted assassination, Bitcoin recovered quite nicely. It went, yep. We need sound money, and we need it now. Right? I'm just saying, smash that Lizzie like button for that sound money, right? So, I mean, Ethereum up on the 7-day and 24 hours, it's a little down. Who cares? Tether kind of trading out sideways. If you guys are new here, Tether is tied to the dollar. So it's going to try to keep the fluctuation of its currency to the nearest dollar. Occasionally, you might find it at a penny less or a penny more, and you can trade the arbitrage. Is it worth it for a penny here and there? Unless you're doing millions of dollars on this, it's not worth it. What it's actually used for is just to kind of hold on to value when the market goes all weird, funky sideways. You can put it into the USDT and hold the value of your currency. Not trading advice, but it's something that I also do myself. What up, Wheeling Crypto? Getting ready to move top move to Cleveland. Oh, nice. Getting ready for the move. Hope everything goes nice and smooth. So with there's grumbling of a Solana ETF that might be coming out. Don't hold your breath on it, guys. That might be what's propping up some of the price on Solana. And if a ETF gets approved, Solana's price, it should move above Binance, and anything that's going to have an ETF will stay pretty much in the top 10, in my opinion. Just because you'll have more traditional money coming into it, but know that these people are not playing with Solana themselves. An ETF is just giving them exposure to the market. Nobody there gives a fuck. So they will trade you out sideways just to make a buck. And it's nothing that I'm going to be looking at as a positive thing. I don't think of any of the old traditional finance stuff being slapped underneath. They're just slapping crypto on top of the traditional structuring. And if you enjoy the traditional structuring, you might as well just trade in the traditional structuring altogether. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I guess I came in myself. I'm coming into crypto to get away from the legacy stuff that is absolutely corrupt and brings nothing but headaches and disappointments in. Yeah, it brings in money, but it's all manipulation. So for the side of Bitcoin, any money coming in is going to be great, but we see that now they're, as these bigger and bigger funds start getting into the Bitcoin and holding on to them in their different fund or different trusts, you're going to see a little more wild swings on Bitcoin because it's going to bring it back into the rodeo. For people who trade, you want that swing. It's very profitable. For people who are depending on it for to actually live upon, it makes it quite difficult. For those that are just dollar cost averaging into the Bitcoin market, it makes it kind of irritating from time to time because you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna drop in, and then fund comes in and manipulates the market. It drops the market price down for a little bit, and then it shoots up, and you're like, son of a. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've been here in crypto long enough. You've seen the wild swings the day after you dollar cost averaged in. And you're like, God damn it. I would have just held off one day. Just one day. But not everybody's lucky. But even when you're dollar cost averaging, you still tend to overall do pretty damn good. So I wouldn't even be completely complaining, but at the same time, when I see the market manipulation happen right after you dollar cost averaged in, you're just like, damn it. But it happens. Uh, but for the most part, the market is going very much green. Any of the markets that have been around for a little while will hold on to this little pump a little better. Some of your either less mature markets or markets that have more manipulation in them, you'll see the pump come up and you'll see them at a certain point roll over. They can't sustain those pumps for a long time because at a certain point, people are just going to take their gains right off the table. And, right, wrong, or indifferent, people are out there to make money. Some of us are out there to make fiat, and some of us are out there to make not dollars, satoshis. So some are for fiat, some are for satoshis. I'm a Satoshi miner. I stack them sats and hodl. But in a market like this, it's not too bad. It's just a matter of how long can it last, and when basically how much momentum do we have? Are we going to have the momentum to keep carrying up from here, or are we going to hit it at that point where we basically, how can I put it, like just sustain sideways all the way until the presidential election? And I think that's ultimately the route that we're going to end up going. It's going to happen. I think that's the direction that everything's going to go. But now that there's a whole bunch of you here, I've been rambling for a little bit. Let's talk about the next big thing in mining now, right? I mean, GPU mining is freaking damn near dead. By the time, even if you're sitting there and running a cooling fan, that was your profits, right? You're like, oh, I got one GPU so that I can turn the fan on. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're paying the electric bill. Are you spending more in electric than you would have if you took the same dollar amount and bought the crypto outright instead of spending on the electric bill and you just bought crypto? Would you get more or less crypto? And that's usually the good time of, figuring out, should you be mining still, right? And for me, it's not. For my, what I pay per kilowatt hour and the gear that I have, I mean, not even old gear. I've got 30 series and the 6000 series for AMD. And yeah, none of it's really profitable for where I'm at. And then once I turn on my cooling fans, that was the profit. I mean, each one of my cooling fans is, costing me, just as much as running a bunch of miners already. So I've got to run probably like a full rig per fan. And then I start at that point starting to overcome the electric bill. So I don't have, because I'm overcoming the electric bill on the cooling fans. By the time I get to the point where I'm trying to overcome the electric bill on the rigs, I don't have enough rigs to increase the profitability past my electric bill. So basically, there's times where, yeah, I might be making like $10 worth of Bitcoin here and there, but not all months. And so my stuff's just been off. Full transparency on that. I am going to be setting up a rig over here so I can do some testing and do some of that stuff. But, the next best big thing is not in GPUs right now. That's for sure. There is nothing that's decent on GPU. And a lot of you guys out there, you're also not understanding that there's that secret deep, dark underworld of the FPGAs that nobody ever talks about. It's poo-poo on on the ASICs. For anybody who's new here, ASICs are application integrated specific chips. So they got one job. Well, you have FPGAs, which are field programmable gate arrays. And what the heck is an FPGA? It's basically you're in between a GPU and an ASIC. And if you really want to break it down, all chips are ASICs. All chips. For my Android phone here, I've got a Snapdragon processor in here. ASIC. Why is it an ASIC? Because I can't sit there and reroute the pathways. You need an FPGA for that, where you can actually reprogram the pathways. You're deciding what's going on. But you're within a confine of an architecture. And a lot of people MediaTek is not an ASIC. You are correct. MediaTek, I believe, is technically FPGA stuff. A lot of people don't realize that the moment that you can get into it and actually program, a lot of them become FPGAs. Like, is it a bad thing that I'm using two Android TV boxes to mine Monero? Do they have an AMD style processor in it? Like, in general, RISC is not too much of an ASIC. I mean, but you can't sit there and I'm not even like I'm kind of generalizing this, son of a rabbit. So, like, because of the fact that you cannot reprogram pathways, it technically, becomes an ASIC chip. CPUs, processors, VGA cores for your GPUs. These are all going to be ASIC chips. A lot of times where you see true FPGAs is in the communication industry. Everything in communication runs on an FPGA. Everything. I haven't myself. I mean, it's not like I'm a communications expert, but my understanding is that all of it's FPGA ran because of its ability to have the way that it can program itself. Yeah, exactly. FPGA is very versatile. And what's kind of interesting with the FPGA world is that in order to make an ASIC chip of any kind, you need an FPGA. So which one came first, the chicken or the egg? In this case, it would be the FPGA. Even in Bitcoin history, there was an FPGA that went onto Bitcoin before the ASIC chip was first designed. Why? It needed that in-between phase of a non-specific chip with a free reign on architecture to be able to start mining on there, because it was the R&D for the ASIC development itself. Oh yeah, the programmer who wrote the first algo came first. Yeah, true that. But when it comes down to hardware itself, it's CPU, GPU, FPGA, ASIC. And the reason why I'm actually bringing this up, you want to sit there and wonder why you have no profitability on, I say not no, you have very low profitability for a lot of these coins that you're mining right now, FPGA is on there. There is almost anything that's profitable in the slightest bit for a GPU. A bit stream gets developed for that coin, so FPGA can come on there. I've warned people a few times of FPGAs around what coins. Maybe I'll do another video where I drop those coins again. I don't have that information pulled up in front of me right now. But I did say that Aleph had FPGAs on the algorithm, and nobody believed me. Nobody took heed. They're like, "Oh, I'm still profitable." Now we got ASIC. And not just any ASIC, guys. We got a baller of an ASIC. Anytime that you got ASICs on there, you already know you've already gone past your FPGA phase. So anytime that you've got ASICs on there, that coin is pretty much done for GPU, unfortunately. But what's kind of funny is that, here's the new greatest and latest thing, right? Because, where is it? There we go. Wrong tab. Because you could be making $831.62 a day on that AL1 from Bitmain, guys. That is insanity. Absolute insanity. And you can pick up these bad boys for about $32,000 per unit, guys. And your ROI is about between 50 and 60 days. It's not going to be, you're not making this kind of money that first day one. Day one, you'll have this. After day one, when all the machines are on and the difficulty adjusts itself and people begin to sell their coin. These people with ASICs don't care. You might have a home ASIC person. The person who's buying one of these is not buying this. I mean, you understand that, right? The person who's going to buy this is not going to sit there and spend the 40 G's on this. They're not. Even 30, 40 G's. If you go through and you get it from a third-party vendor, like Coin Mining Central. These guys are pretty cool. I think they're out of Canada. Says that they're in the United Kingdom. Maybe that's I always thought that they were in Canada because, maybe they're repairing centers. The repair centers in Canada. That's what it has to be. Let's see here. Mine Shop, that's our man Guntis. Miner Bros, they're reliable. Some of these other people I'm not as familiar with, just because I try not to go through too many different things, just where a lot of these places are located. I don't know about Ace Miners. They've got it listed for $35,500. You can also, I think you can get it from Terra for $31,000 or $32,000 through Terra Hosting, which that's not bad, and that's through all the YouTubers out there, which would be really cool to be able to support your local miner. I'm all about that, guys. Instead of going to the source like Bitmain, I stopped going through Bitmain a while ago, just because getting it into the country, and they will give they will give one of these companies a better deal because they're going to buy a few skids of them, of miners off of them. But my thing is, how many are they actually going to produce in their first rip, right? Is their first batch only going to be 1,000 units? I mean, think about that. 1,000. Take it easy, Wheeling. Take it easy. I know 100 of these machines will double Alf's hash rate. Exactly. They put 1,000 down. That's like a 90% increase in hash rate, or a 900% increase in hash rate. That's just insanity, absolute insanity. To think that, how much are they going to destroy this coin? Because they're not the only ones that are doing something. We got Ice River, guys. It's time to drop a bomb, right? So they're going to be coming out with an Alphium ASIC 2. Now, I'm curious because of how quickly they announced this. They announced this just like a few hours after Bitmain, and I'm wondering if they're utilizing Bitmain's chips. I'm just throwing out there. I'm sure I'm not the only one that speculates this. I'm curious to know if they actually are indeed the chips themselves, or they just buy chips from Bitmain. And basically, they turned themselves into an AIB partner for Bitmain. And hopefully, Ice River makes a better control board for this thing than some of their other miners they've come out with that fails on the control board. So interesting stuff. So I mean, this is like the new big bad thing, that's out there. And what's funny about this is Goldshell releasing their AL Box 2, which is 0.5 joules per gigahash at $6,350, right? And even if I were to, wrong one. Even if I were to go over to here and I look at it like this, right? 31, let's say it's 30, we'll call it 33,000, right? 33,000. And basically, you're getting, oh God, what was the math on this? Like, this is not as efficient as the Bitmain's chipset. Which means that this price of $6,350 should be down to dramatically. They're going to have to discount this a lot with Bitmain about the waffle stomp everything down. This thing is no longer profitable enough to warrant over $6,000 for this little unit. Sure, 720 gigahash. 360 watts. It's not enough. Bitmain will be, I think it's like right around 0.2 or a point. It's like almost 0.3. We'll just call it 0.3 joules gigahash. And if you do the hash rate, you're getting a better deal with Bitmain. So Goldshell's going to have to go through and absolutely discount it. And anybody who's bought these things, they're going to have to issue out coupons to them so they can buy more of these to make up for the hash rate that they're just about to get slaughtered on. And I will guarantee you somebody in Goldshell knew. It's not like these these ASIC companies, they know what's up between each other. There's kind of stiff competition between them, but just like anything else, everybody's looking for that competitive edge. And Bitmain has got enough people in there to be able to leak information out. People are people. So you're going to have some of these people knowing that, oh crap, let's try to sell as many of these AL boxes now at this price before that comes out. To each their own if that's the route that they take. Hopefully they don't. I see them pretty much. I see them, potentially sending out coupons to everybody so they can just get themselves another AL box. Or what would be nice is that Gold Shell comes through and makes a big bad dog that's really efficient in power also, that can compete somewhat with Bitmain. That'd be interesting. But I don't know if Gold Shell's chipsets are efficient enough to go toe-to-toe. Unless they're going to do a redesign on the chipset, which it doesn't look like they're going to do. But yeah, I mean, and what's one thing I did notice as I was like looking at mining pool stats here, that there was a drop off in hash rate from HeroMiners.com yesterday, right? Or no, the 17th. Hash rate dropped off a lot. You can see one of the pools at Hero Miner taking a hit. It's like, how much was this running on Microsoft? Was this a Microsoft hit? I'm just saying. This could be like Microsoft tickling the network and part of the network went down. Interesting that it didn't spread. It doesn't look like anybody else really glitched out from it. It was just Hero Miners. So I wonder if Hero Miners actually got affected on some of their network from it, not all of it, because you could still see hash rate. It was just part of the network might have gone down with. And interesting, I wonder how many servers Hero Miners split themselves in between, and then they had to figure out how to reroute everybody. Maybe I have no idea. Was kind of interesting though to see that today. And then going on to some hardware stuff here for GPU side of things. Intel's still bringing out updates for their drivers, and nothing for the open source or frame generation as of yet. In April, Intel released a major update for its upscaling technology, introducing new quality profiles, improved quality, particularly in anti-aliasing, ghosting reduction, and temporal stability. And ghosting reduction is like you'll see like a little highlight of like a hard edge. It looks like it just kind of walks its way out. That's some of that ghosting. You'll see a lot of it if something kind of moves quickly. You'll have that temporal stability with a lot of ghosting. And they've had issues depending on which games you're playing on. It's something that I used to see a lot of years ago on with an NVIDIA. But of course, this is stuff that they've gotten fixed over the years and gotten really good at. Again, this is something that Intel is just getting into, reintroducing themselves into. So they've got a lot to go. I still can't recommend this to the average novice gamer because it's still going to need a little fiddling around from time to time to make this work right. It's better Then day one launch, oh my god, it was absolutely horrid whenever it launched day one. It's come a long, long way, but they are still far from delivering a quality product, in my opinion. And it's just their driver supports. It looks like the hardware is sound, but their software development is just doesn't know how to utilize it right. On top of that, all these game developers would have to re-engineer their stuff to work with Intel, where Intel is now starting to find out they're just going to have to re-engineer it to where their stuff's just going to work, brute force and work with everything else. So we'll see how they go with this. But they're getting better support with other games. Moving forward, I think they'll do all right. I don't think that they're going to be a top tier GPU, but at least it's another option. So as they start to kind of get, it's like whenever they get better with their driver support with the GPUs and the GPUs playing with the games better. Again, I don't think they're going to be a top tier or mid tier, but at least we will have something in the future that will take in the bottom tier sections, which is going to be very nice. That will have low, a quality low budget GPU to go into a decent computer. Like since AMD decided to go toe to toe with NVIDIA, their prices have gone way up. So it's like you can't build a really good budget gaming rig with AMD or NVIDIA at this point. I could be wrong, but I mean, unless you're getting them used, if you're on the new market, you're going to pay a lot. It's like it, and it's like I guess I'm old school, but I don't think that what I spend on the motherboard, CPU, RAM, and the power supply should be the same amount of money I spend on a GPU. A single component should not be as much as the rest of the computer, period. Like my GPU in there right now, 3080 Ti, that bad boy, for the components that are in there, is the most expensive single item. If I were to go toe to toe with all the single items that are in there, $2,000. I have an EK water block. That's the second most expensive thing in there. So I hope that Intel decides to keep themselves nestled in the bottom tier so that they can just take in the market that AMD and NVIDIA don't think is worth it anymore. They're too good for those top tier markets. Now, AMD can come off their high horse at some point in time and start making some budget friendly GPUs again. And, then that'll be nice, because that's what AMD was always good for, is that, hey, don't buy NVIDIA. You can't afford their stuff. Why don't you just get a good GPU that's going to work, and you'll be able to save more money. Now you'll be able to afford a triple monitor system because you didn't spend the extra $600 on a GPU. So I mean, there was always that, that argument back in the day. What up, big room? What up? So we're definitely seeing that, Intel's going to be around here for a while now. In the mining scene, I don't think they're going to be anything special. Not in my opinion. Not at all. But here's something that's also interesting with the Intel side of things. And if you guys haven't checked it out, you have Gamers Nexus here. If you don't know who that is, he is on YouTube. He is also another tech reviewer. He's got a lot of good gear to be able to do some testing that even I can't do. He's got a much bigger budget for doing testing like this. So amazing. So you haven't been hearing that the new Intel chipsets have been having instability issue, overheating issues, and then just crapping out issues. And it's not every CPU out there that's having the issue right now. but from the way that it's starting to look like, it looks like they will. So basically, there's a chemical that they're spraying when they're adding in their copper traces into the chipsets. They're what they call copper seeding. And when they do this, they've got to do this in an airless environment. Why? Because copper corrodes. So they're finding out is that the process that's supposed to keep the oxygen off the parts failed. And they're finding that these copper seeds are getting oxidation, which basically corrosion. But it's internal into the VGA core itself. Intel is aware of this problem, what they're going to do with it moving forward. Hard to say right now at this moment, but it's definitely affects clocks, overclocks, voltages, your DDR speeds, and it promotes aging. So you'll have high aging in the chipset that causes quick failure. Some are like instantaneous, and some people have been able to use their stuff for a little while now. But it looks like every one of the new Intel chips are going to be having this problem. They might be doing a mass recall here. So it's like introducing 15th gen is the answer. Yeah, right. Exactly, Tech Man. Exactly. So it's like Intel claims that 13th and 14th gen Core mobile CPUs are not exposed to the instability issues. So at least they could say it's not the mobile gen stuff that, like their for their laptops aren't having the issue. It's going to be in the actual CPUs that are for PCs. Nice. But I have a feeling that it's going to be all of them because they were using a process that's a little bit from. I have very, very small knowledge on this. So they were using a chemical process that's harder to control. It does yield really good results, but it's harder to control. You have to be very precise when you're layering out all the chemicals that you're utilizing. And it looks like for whatever reason, if it delaminated for whatever reason, or it had a bubble in it or something. It had little micro bubbles inside of the solution. Like they'll have to do more of an in-depth test. I do know that Gamers Nexus he's getting his hands on one of those chips that failed, and he wants to send it to a company that can do micro slicing on the cores to be able to see inside of it. But they have been warned that it's a 50-50 process if it comes out properly because of the way that they have to cut it. So sometimes at the short stuff, things get heated up. So we'll have to see. RPM said his 13600 died. Oh, damn. Yeah, so I'm curious to know, but it's like Intel's claiming their 13th and 14th gen mobile CPUs aren't affected. So 13th and 14th gen non-mobile are affected by this. Yeah, it's very sucky times right now. Very sucky times with hardware failures like this. This is not something that Intel really needs at this point because Intel is already lagging behind AMD with performance and wattage, and they're lagging behind in their GPU department. Somebody cut corners here and got this this new chipset out. This I think it's Raptor Lake. The Raptor Lake's chipset majorly has issues. hopefully it doesn't, it depends on how Intel handles this, depends on how negatively this is going to impact them. I don't think it should impact them negatively if Intel just goes, hey, we're just going to recall those. We got new chipsets already coming in. That we've already changed the process on them. We've got a more controllable process. Everything is stable. It's tested. We're good to go. Roll up. You hear the mobile is. I haven't heard anything on the mobile side yet. I know that the 13th and 14th gen non-mobile is affected. But like I said, I would not be surprised if it actually is. But in an in-depth internal investigation, Intel Core processors, mobile 14th and 13th gen Intel claims to be safe. So, we're at the mercy of their word at this point until we see people with laptops coming out with 13th and 14th gen failures. Then we'll know. Then we will know, right? So, with that being said, that was all the art I had for today. So thank you everybody for being here. Definitely smash that Lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, guys. Thank you everybody for being here. If you guys got any comments or questions, drop those comments or questions right now. If not, drop some FAs in the Chizity chat, guys. Yo, let's roll those FAs in the chat too if you ain't got nothing. Tech Man with the FA. Oh, yeah. Tech Man dropping those FAs hard. He's coming at it hard on this one, guys. I'm just saying. Gene with the FA. That's right. Because you guys are rated F for freaking awesome. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me, all that good stuff. I still have to go through video from Mining Disrupt. I got a whole bunch of raw video. I'm going to be putting together some stuff for that too. So definitely stay tuned with some of that. You'll get a different perspective of Mining Disrupt other than me live streaming because I had our friend out there, Mr. Gundy, and Gundy out there. He had his camera gear and all that good stuff. So bam, have all that stuff set up. I just got to go through it. There's a lot of footage, guys. And then stay tuned. Also, I will probably be doing some content from the garage. Ooh, get some hot rod on here, right? I got a 67 Dodge Coronet coming into the garage tomorrow. So we got it's got a cooling problem on there. We're going to be addressing that. So if you guys are interested in some old classic hot rods and watching somebody go through and testing stuff, come hang out with me tomorrow, guys. Love to have you all there. I might not do it tomorrow, actually. I might not work on it because it's the weekend. I might wait until Monday when the wife's at work, and then I'll start tinkering on that thing. So definitely Monday. Yeah, we'll plan for Monday. We'll do a Monday live stream of me tinkering on an old school hot rod. So if you guys are interested in all that stuff, we'll work on a hot rod. Work on hot rods and talk crypto. Yeah, it sounds like a plan. Right, guys? FA in the chat for that. Smash that Lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. If you are new here to the channel, I got links down below. Join the Discord, hop on in there, be a part of the community. It is free, guys. And if you'd like to help support this channel, I also have a Patreon link down below. If you guys ever want that, you get a little bit of behind the scenes knowledge. Sometimes I do stuff that's, if I had Patreon members in there, I would do stuff special just for them, just to show my appreciation. Back to you. Yo, with that being said, thank you all for being here. Peace out. Stay savage. And may your watts be low and your hash be high. I'll see you on the next one. Yo.